permission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Hello there. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to another edition of And I Quote, the weekly show where we introduce you to a special guest. We find out more about them. We have a friendly conversation. We find out what projects they have coming down the line. I am your host, Ryan of Nerd Culture, and joining us this week on this episode of And I Quote is a writer, a model, an actress. Is there anything this young woman can't do? I don't know, but we're about to find out. Please welcome the extraordinary, Lacye Lembcke is with us. Lacye, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions for our guest, Lacye, today, feel free to leave them in the live chat. Leave them in the comments section. Our producers are going to be monitoring it as we go throughout the course of the show, and we'll save some time at the end for those particular questions. So, Lacye, to kick things off, what were your favorite books or writers growing up?
This is one of my favorite topics. I grew up with R.L. Stine and the Goosebumps books.
Oh, I remember watching the Fox Kids series.
Yes, I loved it. Every kid I show that to just loves the Goosebumps series. And then as I got older, the Fear Street series, I read pretty much anyone and everyone I could get my hands on. I loved ghost stories. I loved Alvin Schwartz, The Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I love that one. I had that first book. I didn't have the other three. And I know that they made new ones with new illustrations. But I want to get those too. But I got into John Saul for a while when I was a teenager, a young adult. He writes horror fiction, very thick novels of horror fiction, very Stephen King-esque. Stephen King, of course, my sisters had all of the books. And I read them all. I loved them. So yeah, that's probably my favorite authors growing up.
Oh my goodness, that's a heck of a man. I didn't mean to cut you off during mid-sentence, but when you brought up Goosebumps, I'm thinking, oh yes, Fox Kids series as a kid in the 90s, best decade ever, I might add. Good stuff.
Yes, right there with, oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, a few episodes that scared the living daylights out of me. So good job, R.L. Stine. You know how to throw a kid off balance and definitely make him scared for life. And you made us afraid to go to sleep at night because we thought something creepy and crawly was going to come to us and destroy us. Anyway, you were saying, Lacye.
I don't remember now. Sorry.
Oh, that's my fault as a host. Never interrupt a guest mid-sentence, even if you're trying to geek out on the 90s flavor of the week. I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you remember your thought from, a little bit later on in the show, let us know. I'll be more than happy to
I'll blurt it out mid-sentence, I'm sure.
You're more than welcome to. Crazier things have happened on this program. But anyhow, moving on to the next thing. When did you specifically decide to become a writer yourself?
I knew I always wanted to be a writer of something. I just didn't know exactly what for a very long time. I've dabbled in writing poetry, writing the short stories in Nightmare Oasis and Nightmare Oasis 2, writing screenplays, writing scripts. But what I really enjoy writing the most is the ghost stories, is the little scary bump in the night tales. But I think when I decided I really wanted to actually be a writer was probably, I would say I was maybe 10. And I knew I just had to, there was too much to write down, and I knew I wanted to do it.
All right. Special thing about being 10, it's double digits. So you're thinking, all right, 10 years old, been here for about a decade. Next decade is going to be even better. So you never know. I see a few people chiming in the chat. Once again, we will get to your questions towards the end of the show. Carl Witzman, I see you there, man. I see you.
Hi, Carl.
Anyhow, yeah. As the expression goes, hey, Carl, good to see you. There's a 90s reference for you. If you caught that, audience, I appreciate you. Now, what would you say have been some of the biggest rewards of being a writer?
Oh, actually, I got the biggest reward when I was at Heroes for Kids. I came out of writers panel, and one of the kids that was sitting there listening to us, she comes up to me and she goes, "My mom has all of your books. You're my whole childhood." And I'm like, wow, that was unexpected. And then I was just like, holy crap, I have a fan that like has heard my stories since she was a kid and still loves them. And that to me is one of the biggest rewards. That and the portrait one of the kids drew for me of me at Library Con. Yes, I got a portrait of myself drawn by a 6-year-old. I still have that somewhere.
Oh, well, that is definitely truly amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. My goodness gracious, man, you never know what you're going to get on this show.
Exactly. And that's, people think, well, I'm never going to do nothing. I'm like, I mean, it's just a couple kids, but I mean, I made a difference to them.
Well, that is certainly special and truly amazing. Now, on the flip side of things, what would you say have been some of the challenges of being a writer?
Definitely being a female writer, you kind of get pigeonholed into either being a romance writer or being a children's writer, and people don't really look at me and see a scary story writer. So when I tell them, hey, I've written all of these, and they kind of give me these weird side eyes, or they don't take me seriously, or they'll want to find, the male counterparts that have helped me work on different things. But you just have to really surround yourself with the good people, and they'll help you find the good people to keep, climbing that ladder and help you avoid some of those pitfalls. So having a support network has really helped me avoid a lot of the negativity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, have there been any other special memories from being at conventions or other events, whether you're selling your books as a vendor or going as an attendee?
Oh, I would have to say everybody running around saying Mark Hamill was there at SalukiCon. I to this day, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. Second one from that day is the day a Starbucks employee threw a drink at a patron. So that was amazing too. Because it was, I don't know if you're familiar with the SIU campus where a lot of Brian K. Morris's people have come from. There is a very tiny Starbucks that was trying to play host to thousands of people.
Oh.
And somebody got really, really rude over some sprinkles and pitched the drink at the Starbucks employee. And the Starbucks employee caught it. And in a moment of every food service worker's dream, just bam, nailed the dude. So I didn't get to see it, but as a food service worker, I completely understand. As a former food service worker. But yeah, Mark Hamill and Starbucks have been my two favorite memories.
Goodness gracious, physical assault with a coffee cup or death by coffee that was extremely hot from Starbucks. I don't know which one came first. But anyhow, I digress. Goodness gracious, man, one of the greatest actors, if not hero/villain actors of all time with Mark Hamill, and you mix that in with Starbucks. Gee willikers, just when you thought you've heard everything.
Mm-hmm. I never know what's going to happen at SalukiCon.
Maybe one of these days, it's just, once Earth reopens, whenever that is, maybe I should take a trip out there one time. I'm not sure. Maybe I should add it to my travel itinerary.
It's going to be my first convention of the year. It's January 15th.
Oh, of 2022.
Well, it starts January 15th.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome sauce, as one person might say.
Yes.
What advice would you have for aspiring writers out there?
No matter how bad you think it is or how cringy you think it is, you just have to keep writing, keep going. No matter if you think something might be silly or people won't like it or it's not in the now or whatever, just keep writing it down, because you're never going to get better if you don't practice. Writing is a skill. You have to keep practicing, just like you would at the violin, just like you would at somersaults, just like you would anything else. You have to keep practicing. And there are a ton of courses you can take, for free online, or if you want to enroll in your local college, that can help you sort of narrow down what you need. So if you're looking for any kind of help like that, there's tons of resources, especially like on the Rising Tide Network, where there's no shortage of people that can help you.
Plug, plug, plug. That's why we have the power strip here in front of us.
Always.
G. Willikers, I'm wondering, is there going to be a Brian K. Morris School of Writing somewhere down the line in the future when Earth reopens?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, is that a possibility? Can we make that happen, Internet or the US
Brian,
today?
Brian, do it, Brian.
Yeah, Brian K. Morris, if you're watching or listening to this show, we've just given you an idea. You may want to jump on that. I'm more than happy if you're the Professor Xavier for the School of Gifted Writers and Youngsters. I think Lacye and I would be more than happy to enroll.
Oh yes. Yes, I will Gene grade. I will be a student and then a teacher and then, go supernova, I guess.
Gosh. Supernova. That's a term I've not heard in a long time. A long time. Yeah, anyhow, I'm losing my way here. But that's great advice no matter where you're coming from. That is for sure. Who would you say are some of your favorite writers of today? Some of your favorite writers now?
Oh, that is so weird. So I don't know your religious views or the religious views of most of your writers, viewers, but I am an atheist and I read a lot of Seth Andrews. He's a really great writer. He's also a host of the podcast, The Thinking Atheist, and he actually covered a lot of ghost stories and the histories of them. And that was really cool. So I think if you're looking into a little bit more insight on stuff like that, he's really good. Oh, now I just forgot the name of like every single writer of today. Because I like the classics. I grew up reading a lot of Mark Twain. I read Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn all the time growing up. I read a lot of he's from across the pond. He's from the Merseyside Skeptics. His name is Michael Marshall. I read a lot of his articles and stuff. Oh, now I got to try to think some more.
Well, you mentioned classic writers. One of my favorites to read growing up was Charles Dickens.
Always, yes. Christmas Carol is one of my all-time favorite stories. I absolutely love that.
That's a good one. I'll take that and raise you Great Expectations.
That one was good too. I like that one. I am trying to get back into reading some more of the classics. Because I read a lot and I just want to read more. And audiobooks are a great way for me to do that because I'm usually traveling somewhere or I'm doing something like I'm cooking or, getting a cosplay ready, and I'll pop a book on and enjoy that. And then a lot of my friends have started doing audiobooks of all their work. So that's a really cool medium to get into.
All right. What did you think of a quick sidebar here? What did you think of Charles Dickens's portrayal by, oh gosh, what was the name of his character? Oh yes. What did you think of Gonzo as Charles Dickens in the Muppet Christmas Carol from back in the day? Do you remember that?
Yes, that is absolutely one of my favorite movies. I love Michael Caine just said, I am going to be as serious as a heart attack with these Muppets. And it was wondrous.
It was brilliant. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite holiday films of all time.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
great film.
We have some holiday movies we always watch. We like this one called Santa's Sleigh, Slay.
Mhm.
It stars the former wrestler Goldberg as Santa Claus on a homicidal rampage.
Oh boy. And I thought him going 173 and 1 at Starrcade 98 was something. Jeez.
Yes.
Oh boy. And yes, I'll admit it. I did see Bill Goldberg in the film that nobody saw, Universal Soldier: The Return with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I saw that one too back when.
Oh, you did. You saw that film as well, so I'm not alone in this.
Very, very young. Yes.
Okay. I liked it. I mean, it's nothing to, it's not Shakespeare or anything, but I liked it for what it was.
There's fun movies, we're going back and watching a lot of old stuff and seeing how it stacks up to stuff today, and so much has changed, even just within the last decade.
That is very true, because in the last decade, it's more, what's the next MCU film? What's the next Fast and Furious movie? They never should have made after 6, if not 7. Sorry, Paul Walker. Rest in peace, good sir. Yeah, there's too many franchises now. There's hardly any standalone films anymore. Everything has to be a franchise. Everything has to be a franchise, whether it's meant to be a standalone film or not. They want to make multiple sequels. Like I heard a few years back, was it Todd Phillips who directed Joker with Joaquin Phoenix? They're already talking about making a sequel to that. And I'm thinking, why? It's a standalone movie.
Yeah.
It's an origin story of how he becomes the psychotic Joker. Granted, has nothing to do with the comics, has nothing to do with any previous iteration of the character. And that's fine, because then you don't have to compare it to other performances. So that means it stands on its own 2 feet, which I respect in Todd Phillips' regard. So Joaquin Phoenix, granted, it's the most disturbing movie I've seen in my life as Joker. I walked out of the theater. We're all looking at each other after the movie and we're thinking, what did we just see? That was one of the most disturbing blank messed up movie I've seen in my life. Great performances though.
Oh yeah,
it's a really messed up film. I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I ever want to watch that film ever again, because it's just that disturbing. Sorry. Great performances though. It's not something I want to rewatch, because most people like happy-go-lucky movies. So I don't feel like going to the dark side one too many times. But yes, there's some great holiday films, some great, heck, I remember, speaking of wrestlers in film, what about the 80s film, No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan? You remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
Okay, if you get a chance, look it up on Google/YouTube. There are clips. Maybe there's a version of it online that you can stream, I'm sure. But that was a fun, cheesy, just terrible, but so bad it's good film. I can't, to be honest with you, I haven't seen that movie in a hot minute, so I'd have to sit down and rewatch it and see if my brain still enjoys it like it did 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah, but
still, wrestlers.
Well, we started the new He-Man series that Kevin Smith wrote.
Was it Masters of the Universe Revelation? How was that?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. For me, I watched He-Man with my little brother.
Oh.
And I enjoyed it. I loved He-Man. We had the dolls. We played. We didn't have Castle Grayskull, but we had some of the little figures. And his favorite was Stinkor. Oh, and so, we played with them. And I think if I hadn't heard any of the hoopla that came about it, I wouldn't have thought it was any different than any other He-Man movie, except, the obvious changes that are made to the animation style and such. But I actually really enjoyed the new animation. I thought it was very clean and very well done. The story was fantastic. It followed along with the story of He-Man. And to me, it was an incredible retelling of the classic stories.
Okay. All right. I understand. I hope to watch it myself at some point, because I really like the teaser trailer with the use of Bonnie Tyler. I'm holding out for a hero, because that's great. That's a classic 80s song. Now, granted, He-Man was, I'm sorry to say this, He-Man was before my time. So I'm behind the 8 ball on this, but I look forward to watching it at some point or another. Now, you see all these 80s properties seem to be getting rebooted. You got He-Man, you got Masters of the Universe that just came out, fresh as a daisy. You also had Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, the new film that just came out. So you got all these 80s properties starting to make somewhat of a resurgence. This is actually a 2-part question. The first part is, What 80s property do you think should get another chance at either being rebooted or just bring it all back? What do you think?
Oh, an 80s property to get rebooted.
Yeah, because they seem to be doing well with Masters of the Universe. That, you know, granted, I've heard negative reviews about the new Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins film, but I don't care. I'm still going to go see it anyway. So I'm just curious. All these 80s properties are coming back in style. So I'm just curious. Is there an 80s property out there, in your opinion, that deserves another shot at stardom?
Well, they've done so many of my favorite ones, like My Little Pony, when they made Friendship is Magic, and they did the new Strawberry Shortcake, and they've done a lot of new Tinkerbells, which is a lot of my old 80s stuff. But I would think I would like to see them redo Fievel's Journey.
Are you referring to An American Tail?
Yes, An American Tail.
Oh, so
yes.
From Don Bluth. Okay. Oh my! All right, I believe it's Don Bluth. I'm not sure if it's Don Bluth animation or not. Let us know in the comments.
I think that might have been from the 80s or early 90s. I don't remember. I can get a lot of that stuff mixed up within that time frame.
It's okay, but yes, I remember An American Tail 5 Goes West. I didn't see the prequel to that. I saw the second one, which was An American Tail 5 Goes West. I didn't see the first one. I just grew up with 5 Goes West, but it was fun to watch. You got Wiley Burke, voiced by the late great Jimmy Stewart. And all these other great characters. I think, oh my gosh, who was the other character actor? Dom DeLuise, I think, was the voice of Tiger. You know, the cat that's like a, you know, scaredy cat, but he's a big dude. Just great voice acting. But yeah, American Tail the 5 Goes West universe is what you're trying to say. That's fine.
Yeah,
okay.
The 5 universe. Yeah.
I'd be curious to see. You know what? I don't mind that because I could use another Western.
Yeah, and I enjoy Westerns. I watched Westerns with my dad growing up. We love spaghetti Westerns. I really enjoy Gene Autry, the singing cowboy. And he always loved John Wayne.
John Wayne. John Wayne? You know John Wayne? John Wayne. Yeah, the Duke, man. Hang out with the Duke. Anyway, that's a line from another 90s film. If anyone catches that in the comments, let us know. Good stuff, man. You mentioned spaghetti westerns. The first thing that comes to mind is wah, 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 wah. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood. Remember The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and the Fistful of Dollars, and For a Few Dollars More? Yeah, there's a trilogy for you.
If you like kooky westerns, check out The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. It's an Asian western. It is an absolute masterpiece.
Okay. I am not familiar with this title, but I'll have to look it up. In the words of Captain America, I'll add it to the list.
Enjoy. Yes, it's great.
I have to add it to the list. Good stuff. Good stuff. So goodness gracious. Second part of my question, outside of, you know, what 80s property do you think should be rebooted? I'm just curious, what would you say are some of your favorite book to movie adaptations?
Favorite book to movie adaptations?
Could be anything.
That's a hard one.
Insert Jeopardy theme here.
Okay. Oddly enough, we just watched The Killing Joke, and I enjoyed that, from the comic to the movie. Or were you looking for like actual book?
No. You can use graphic novel to movie adaptation, you know, direct-to-video movies, or you can use stuff that's been released by major studios. That's fine. The Killing Joke, I know what it is. I know the story. Didn't like the whole I'm hot for teacher, let's have sex on a roof storyline between Batgirl and Batman. That got a lot of people hot, man. That is an NO in my book. It is an NO in my life. You never, ever, 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 ever do that. I don't care what format it is. If you're adapting The Killing Joke, which I hear is one of the most popular, if not greatest, graphic novels of all time, respectively, don't incorporate stuff that has nothing to do with the story. And they did. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm feeling very dirty, very filthy, very weird right now. Why is this happening in a movie? This is not how it works. But then some of the other parts of the movie were good, but that part, just no. Big fat no. But if you enjoyed it, Lacye, that's fine. I have issues with that movie. But if you enjoyed it, hey, celebrate that. That's fine. Yeah. So you mentioned The Killing Joke. Anything else come to mind?
I don't know if your viewers are familiar. It's another 80s movie from a book called Audrey Rose. It stars Anthony Hopkins as a father who lost his daughter in New Jersey in a car accident, and whose daughter was reincarnated as this little girl named Audrey Rose, and who begins to act out her former life's death and stuff like that. And Anthony Hopkins tries to come in and take control of the situation. Her parents are fighting him. It's an absolutely incredible book. I read it actually when I was very young, and my sister goes, "Think you might be a little young for that?" And I'm like, "Nope." And I'm like, it's all about, reincarnation and ghosts and the supernatural and things like that. It's really great, and the movie is very entertaining too. It's a little bit slow going. It's a little bit more psychological, so don't be prepared for action packed, Hannibal Lecter action.
No, I can
But
understand.
yeah, that one's good. I enjoyed that one.
Okay, all right. Well, once again, going back to the 1980s, there were not just one, but there were 5 Nightmare on Elm Street films released alone in the 1980s. But there's a lot of stuff that came before the 1980s and well after the 1980s. But this leads me to the next question. You like the genre known as horror.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to horror films, what are some of your favorites and why? And did you ever fear that when you fell asleep at night one time that Freddy was going to come into your dreams and kill you?
Not Freddy, but I was afraid my dolls were going to come to life and kill me. I was very young, and you have your nightmares. All your dolls and your stuffed animals can come to life at night. That weird little thing after you watch a scary movie. But I would have to say some of my favorite horror movies are the classics, Jason, the Chucky movies for sure, even the new ones, where you have Bride of, Seed of, The Return of Chucky, all those. I love the Chucky movies. And there's going to be a new Chucky series that I'm very excited about. I am thrilled. I enjoyed the Phantasm movies. I loved Poltergeist. Everybody has to watch that at least once.
They're here. I mean,
I
my goodness
actually
gracious.
went to school with a girl named Carol Ann who looked just like her.
That sounds creepy. But
It was. She looked just like her, had the long blonde hair, the little round face, everything.
oh my. But
Yes.
my goodness gracious. But yes, Poltergeist is one of my favorite, scariest films of all time. That is definitely, that girl turns around, she says they're here, and then the rest of the movie, everything's just coming out of the woodwork, whether it's over here, over there, another side of the house, another part of the house. And then you get the mediums coming in there. This house is clear. Like, I mean, no, it's not.
I love Zelda Rubinstein so much.
Do you? Okay.
She was great. There's it's not really a scary movie, but if you have any tweenage girls listening, Teen Witch. She did the movie Teen Witch. It's also a book. They're not really very similar at all. So if you want to read the book and not watch the movie, or either one, but yeah, they're both really good. And she plays the sort of surrogate mom character that she comes and finds to help her. And, she's helping her with all these spells and stuff.
Okay. All right. Have to check. I will have to check that out at some point or another. But my goodness, yeah, some good names you threw out there. Now, once conventions and Earth reopens, and the convention started opening the doors, everyone can go back. I'm just curious: is there anyone you're looking forward to meeting at a convention once Earth reopens again?
I regret not getting to meet Stan Lee, so I'm going to try to meet as many people as I can. One person I really hope to meet is Greta Lyle. She's a very popular voice actor. Tara Strong. Let's see. There's just no telling, because different kinds of cons have so many celebrities and so many people to meet. There's no shortage. I have gotten to meet Carrie Elways. I have gotten to meet Jim. I've gotten to meet so many talented people that I never thought I would ever get to meet in my life. But I got to meet Jewel State, who plays Kaylee in Firefly. But I think if I had to pick just one person to actually meet at a convention, would have to be right now Kevin Smith.
King of all geeks, so to speak. I mean, the guy knows his stuff. I mean, he just came out with Masters of the Universe Revelation. He did all the Clerks films. He did all the Jay and Silent Bob films, Mallrats. I mean, you name it. The guy's pretty much done
start filming.
Yeah, and yes, there's that. And then, he's written his own, he's put his own spin on certain characters within, whether it's I'm trying to think here, the DC Marvel universe, whatever it may be. He's done a lot of stuff. But bottom line, Kevin Smith has done a lot of stuff. So we wish him the best of luck on his future projects as well. Well, that's some good stuff. Now, you mentioned earlier something about cosplaying. Who are some of the characters you have cosplayed in the past? And then who are some characters you hope to cosplay somewhere down the line?
I have cosplayed Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks. I have cosplayed Wednesday Addams. I've cosplayed Velma. I've cosplayed Wonder Woman. I would like to do Jack Skellington because I've done Sally. And I want to do Wilma Flintstone and Betty Rubble. And just a whole bunch more, but definitely the Jack Skellington one is the one that I want to get to the most.
Oh, good picks. Good picks. A little bit of love for the Hanna-Barbera family over there. And
always. I grew up on those.
Yep. I remember growing up on reruns of, what was it? The Flintstones, I believe. And then there was the Jetsons.
Yep.
I believe. A little bit of, it was Scooby-Doo part of the Hanna-Barbera family? Was that him?
Yes.
Okay, Scooby-Doo counts. All right, so Scooby-Doo's canon. So I've grown up on Scooby-Doo as well as other prop. But yeah, I remember watching the Jetsons movie when I was a kid. I remember watching Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. Speaking of horror, there's some classic horror for you. Granted, it's a more tame look because it's an animated film. They can't really do much. But I remember watching that, and that was fun. Speaking of, we keep talking about horror. Going back to the 1930s and 40s, those classic Universal monster films, what would you say are some of your favorites, and which one would you say is your number one favorite?
Oh, I love monster movies. We have the original Japanese Godzilla poster upstairs.
Godzilla.
Oh yeah, it's great. Godzilla is probably my favorite. We love all the Gamera movies, Mothra, Ghidorah. What's some of the other? Yeah, that was actually the name of our truck. We called it Ghidorah because it was big and green. Yeah. When we had our truck. Yeah.
Good picks.
What was the name? The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. That name is not coming to me.
It's not really like a monster movie,
right.
But it's kind of in that genre.
It's a bit of a thriller, maybe.
Yeah, like I would consider that like in the same genre as like Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Oh goodness gracious. There's a title I don't think anyone can forget. But how about, do you remember growing up on the Bela Lugosi Dracula, or the Lon Chaney Jr.'s The Wolfman, or the Creature from the Black Lagoon, maybe some Phantom of the Opera with Mr. Claude Rains?
All of them.
Those were good ones, I think. I actually just saw those films for the first time during the course of the pandemic. And I really enjoyed not all of them. Some of them are way better than others. I think The Invisible Man with Claude Rains is so freaking good.
Oh, yeah.
And Claude Rains is just a beast of an actor. The guy was in like 3 of the 7 original monster movies. He was in The Wolfman. He was in Phantom of the Opera, where he played the title role. And then he was my goodness gracious, why am I blanking? He was The Invisible Man. I mean, it's, my goodness, can the guy not do anything?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Oh, my mom loved all of those old, Monster, MGM, RKO movies. And so we watched a lot of them. I grew up on a lot of black and white television.
and there is certainly nothing wrong with that. You mentioned Gojira. What did you think of the new films in the MonsterVerse featuring Godzilla and King Kong?
I enjoyed the new one. I enjoy it for a monster movie because I don't look for monster movies to be, full of plot and, you know, good storytelling. I expect there to be monsters messing stuff up and destroying stuff. That's fun.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Did you enjoy did you get a chance to see Godzilla versus Kong?
Yes, I actually enjoyed it. I
Really?
thought it was a fun monster movie.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say it had its moments, but man, the human story was so terrible.
Yeah, a good movie and a fun movie to me can be the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But for me, Godzilla versus Kong, to me, certain moments of the movie worked. Like when they actually were duking it out in the streets and destroying buildings and things were getting destroyed. Yes, more destruction. But then they throw it to the humans, and I'm thinking, oh, this human story is so terrible. Where's the fight song? And where
Get the monsters?
I know. I just want Gojira beating up Kong, or I want Kong beating the living crap out of Gojira. I just want to see that, and some of those scenes in that movie particularly work. Some things didn't, but I did hear that they're going to move ahead and make another one in this series of the MonsterVerse. So if you're going to do Godzilla versus Kong round 2, please have Kong be the victor this time, because I was actually Team Kong going into the film, and yeah, certain things happened that I wasn't happy with. But hey, look, he had a lightning axe, okay?
Yes.
Kong had a lightning axe that was built from his ancestors, okay? That is badass. And I want more. Give it to me, all right? Just give me the destructor. Give me the destruction. I don't care about the humans. Give me destruction. Just give it to me. I mean, anyway, I could be an executive all day with this. But I digress. So my goodness, we've run the gamut of cosplay, horror films, everything else. I'm just curious, is there any movies outside of the genre of horror that you've seen this year that have stood out to you as being enjoyable? Or are there any films coming out later down the line that you're looking forward to?
We just went and saw Black Widow, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoy the actors, the cast that they had. It was nice. We have a little tiny theater down here that I felt safe enough. Not enough, there was us and maybe 6 other people in the entire theater to watch this flick. So I felt safe enough being in there, and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't see what people had a problem with, honestly. To me, it was just a fun Black Widow movie. But she is suing Disney.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Screening.
I saw some things about it on social media, online. I should probably rather say. I did see Black Widow the movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. Couldn't it have been better? Sure. Couldn't it have been worse? Oh yeah, but it wasn't. To me, it was one of the better MCU films. Is it one of the greatest of all time? Absolutely not. But it did work for what it was, and the action sequences were hard hitting and in your face, especially when Florence Pugh was laying the smackdown as Yelena. But
yeah, she was really good.
I mean, that young lady really knows how to handle herself. Have you seen her in another film called Fighting with My Family, where she plays WWE superstar Paige? It's a biopic. It's pro wrestling.
Okay.
It's a really good biopic, Lacey. I think you, and if you're watching this, I think you should check it out too. It's called Fighting with My Family, starring Florence Pugh, a whole bunch of other. Stephen Merchant is in it. Nick Frost is in it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, for good reason, I might add. He's in it. Vince Vaughn is in it, and Vince Vaughn does a good job in this movie for once, because he hasn't really done much for me in the last 100 years. But check it out, Lacey. Fighting with My Family. You might want to rank this down. It's a good film. Florence Pugh, that was one of her first gigs, and she laid the smackdown, as a wise man once said, on Thursday night television on UPN back in the day. Yeah. I remember growing up watching wrestling. But anyhow,
I watched all the divas and stuff like that.
Oh, so now, okay. I'm just curious. Who are some of your favorite pro wrestlers, past or present?
Oh, I was a big Hardy Boys fan. I loved them. I loved all their all their aerial acrobatics. I loved them. I love Triple H. I love Big Show, Al Snow. Um, what was his Mick Hart? I loved him. Um, of course, The Rock. Everybody loves The Rock. Steve Austin, of course. China, and since she's since passed away. I loved her. I wanted to be so big like her, but I only ended up being 4'9", so that didn't happen. And I loved when the divas really started coming in. Lita was one of my favorites. I loved her. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Trish Stratus, Into the Stratosphere.
Stratisfaction, anybody?
Yeah, Stratisfaction. I love that. I actually enjoyed the whole world of pro wrestling until it became a little too soap opera-esque for me. And then I'm like, you just go out there and hurt each other.
Yeah, that's true. Some storylines overshadowed the wrestling part of it, I guess. I'm not sure. For me personally, I didn't watch until 1998, and then I stopped in 2006. That was my period of watching pro wrestling. But I do remember a lot of the names you mentioned. Of course, Lita and Trish were just, they started a revolution. They really did, as well as China. China did too. I'm not going to take away anything that China did, because she did a lot of wonderful things for the company, and she gave women a chance to really be, come into their own as a division. Mm-hmm. So I get that. But yeah, Lita and Trish, I mean, I got those two. Oh, goodness gracious. I got to watch those two just beat the heck out of other wrestlers or whatever was going on at the time forever. And by the way, had the pleasure of meeting Lita at a convention. We did this.
Awesome.
In our picture. Got to represent the Team Extreme. And she signed an 8x10 that had her and Matt and Jeff on it. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, day has been made. Let's go. All we needed was someone to play the Hardy Boys theme over the PA system.
Yeah.
So do the whole, walk out to the ring and be like, yeah, we're ready. You know what I mean? That theme song is just great theme song for Team Extreme, whether it's Matt, Jeff, and Lita and all that good stuff. Great stuff. Great picks. Wrestling. My goodness. So many great memories. So many great superstars in their own right. Yes, many of them have passed. Rest in peace. But man, good. The more I learn about you, gee whiz, the more, not just myself, but I hope you who is watching or listening to this respects Lacye even more, because it's a lot of things that are just awesome here. I'm just saying. So let's talk about this for a minute. Nightmare Oasis and Nightmare Oasis 2. An executive and you are in an elevator. You got to put together something known as an elevator pitch. That's what it's called, an elevator pitch. So Nightmare Oasis 1 and 2, elevator pitch. Tell us about them.
Scary stories. Some of them have accompanying artwork from various artists, very talented artists that you can find. Also, one of them helped on Doping and Clive. He's the main artist, Nathan Bonner. And so you like ghost stories, scary stories, stories about cannibalism and hauntings and all kinds of good, creepy, bump of the night, crawly things. Enjoy this. If you don't want one, you can enjoy the other. None of the stories are sequential. So if you want to come back and get the other one later, you can. You're not missing anything. Well, you are, but that's on you and your wallet. And so, campfire stories, scary stories to tell in the dark, to scare your friends and yourself and everybody else.
There you go. Great elevator pitch. Enough said. Any of your stories you would want to be adapted into a series or film? Which one would you choose and why?
Actually, we, some friends and I are working on getting some of my stories adapted into a little short film series. The one that we are working on now is a standalone screenplay that I wrote for a director down in Carbondale, Illinois, a good friend of mine named Michael Ricci, called Upside Down Sky. And it's an indie film. We're all independents. This is coming out of our own budget of $0, and it tackles addiction and family and the ins and outs of hiding secrets and things like that, and what disasters it can lead to. But from the published ones, I think Facility 52, the zombie one, would be a really good adaptable one.
Okay. All right. Wow. A lot of things in the pipeline. That is great. Congratulations. We wish you the best of luck with those projects coming down the line, coming down the line. Now, outside of writing the next great anthology or the next great novel, and you got this short film coming out and stuff like that, what do you do outside of writing? What are some of your favorite hobbies? Do you have any?
I enjoy hiking. I love nature. I'm a big nature person. I'm a big conservationist. Save the wildlife, save the forest, save the trees, don't litter, all that good stuff. So I'm big into nature conservation, and I love going on nature hikes. We actually went to Colorado not too long ago and did a whole bunch of hiking out there, which was fantastic. The mountain air is wonderful. I enjoy anything to do with animals, really. Going to zoos, going to aquariums, learning about animals, stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. I am a big anime fan. I love to watch anime. So we just finished, what was the name of this anime? I hate that when as soon as you finish it, it's like the name just goes and you no longer have anything in your head anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching one called High Rise Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a strategy siege one kind of deal. We haven't finished. We got behind on My Hero Academia, but I love a lot of the classics like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Hellsing. Inuyasha's probably one of my favorites, and they got a new Inuyasha series coming out now. All kinds of. There's a Puella Madoka Magica. It's a magical girl one I really enjoy. Pretty much you can put on almost any kind of anime, and I'll enjoy it.
Do you have any of the anime Funko Pops?
I'm not a big Funko Pop collector. I have a little tiny keychain Jack Skellington that my husband gave me, a Funko Pop thing, but that's about it.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Sometimes it's not everybody. I get that. Well, I'm just curious, for someone who's not very familiar with anime or wants to try to give it a try, where is a good place for someone to get started who is interested in watching anime?
Okay. I would look at your own personal preferences. If you like comedy, you might enjoy ones like Azumanga Daioh, which is a cute slice of life, funny one. If you like suspenseful sci-fi stuff and you're older, you might like Gantz, which is all about futuristic suits and supernatural stuff and things like that. I usually go with something easy. There's a lot of ones because some of them don't really stack up now. If I wanted to show somebody a really good older series, I would go with Outlaw Star, but that one's a little bit more adult themed. The problem with a lot of the older anime is it is tended, unless you're looking at like Gundam and stuff like that, tends to be geared towards a little bit older kids, and then you have stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon for the younger crowds.
Okay. All right. Some good titles out there if anyone's interested. Fantastic. There's some names out there. No worries at all. Because I've heard a lot about anime over the years. A few of my friends are anime fans. I'm just curious, if someone's interested in exploring the anime universe, where was a good place to get started? Thank you for your suggestions and your ideas. Do appreciate it, 100%. So we're gonna switch things over here just a little bit here. And by the way, we're talking with Lacye Lembcke, a great writer, model, actress. Is there anything this superstar can't do? I'm not sure yet. But if you have any questions for her, leave them in the comment section. Leave them in the live chat. We're gonna get to that in just a few moments here. So Lacye, what would be your best day ever?
Oh, my best day ever.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What would be it?
Probably I wake up whenever I want, and I just get to kind of go make coffee and listen to my podcast and go out. I have a little hammock swing outside under my carport. Turn on my porch lights and just sit there and enjoy some coffee and the weather for a while. Have some peace and quiet for a while, and get up, go find me something to eat, because my best day ever, I'm not going to cook. Go find something to eat. Then I'm really easy to please. I enjoy thrift shopping. I love to go to all different kinds of thrift stores and flea markets and weird little curio shops. So I would probably spend my day doing that.
All right. That sounds like a good idea. No worries here. So you've been given $100,000. You have to either donate it or create a charity. What do you do?
I think if I was going to create a charity, it would be a cat rescue. But there's a cat rescue that I work with called Finding Forever Animal Rescue that I would give it to.
Oh, there you go. All right. Good point. Hey, I like cats too, so there you go. That works for both parties, at least in this regard. Just saying. So, out of everything that's going on, what are you most excited about right now?
The thing that I am most excited about is I am this close to getting the funding for my comic book. It's a dark psychological thriller called Silas Slaughter. It's all about this hapless nobody who ends up getting caught in a whirlwind of murder and sex and seduction and all different kinds of chaos and madness and sinking in further and further. But I lost, like a year's worth of income where I was doing pretty okay, and then that's why I have my other page, for funding and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I'm excited to get that one back up and working and then get that one so I can really start breaking into comics.
Ooh, very, very nice. Very nice. That's very, very nice. So I'm curious now. What are some of your favorite comic book characters, or maybe writers or artists?
Oh, Neil Gaiman for sure. I learned a lot from him. I recently learned that he wrote one of my the comic that one of my favorite movies is based on. He wrote a comic called Tideland, and they made a movie about it. It stars Jennifer Tilly of Chucky fame.
Yeah.
She plays her character is absolutely fantastic. Not a fantastic person, but a fantastic character.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look to this as a feel-good movie. It's not a feel-good movie. It's a very, very messed up psychological movie, and it's a very psychological comic book. And so I really enjoy that type of art. And I would have to say, who was it that he wrote Constantine, he wrote Hellblazer. But again, that dark fantasy style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I enjoy in comic books. So, but John Constantine's one of my favorite comic book characters. Not necessarily the Keanu Reeves version, but more the BBC version. And I enjoyed him. I love Hellboy.
Mike Mignola.
Yes, I love Hellboy. The last Hellboy was my favorite. I know that got so much flack from so many people, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, you're
I
talking
thought
about the
that
more.
was,
Are you talking about the more recent Hellboy with David
yeah,
Harbour in the title role?
yeah.
Oh my goodness, the reboot! Wow, that
Mhm.
film got maligned big time.
But which is so weird because that actually fits in with more of the comic style.
Oh, hmm. Okay. I didn't read the comic before going in to see Guillermo del Toro's version of Hellboy 1 and 2 with Ron Perlman, and then I saw the reboot with David Harbour. And by the way, David Harbour, which you can catch him in Black Widow as Red Guardian. Duh, it still fits. Whatever, dude.
I love him. And when Rachel Weisz
I, yeah, the comedy in that film was weird, but at the same time, it kind of worked because Rachel Weisz and David Harbour are just so weird as a couple in that movie, but
they're
it works.
great. I love them. I want them to adopt me.
So, and he puts on the suit and he's gained like 20, 30 pounds while he's been in prison, but he's like, "Ah, it still fits. You got fat." It's like, I mean, come on, dude, come on. But anyway, yeah, you enjoyed the most recent Hellboy. Man, I walked out of that theater thinking this movie was meh, but whatever. I do like seeing Ian McShane in a movie because Ian McShane is a great actor. So him playing Hellboy's adoptive, dad, because he
Yes.
took over for John Hurt, who played him in the original Hellboy films directed by Guillermo del Toro, respectively. I like Ian McShane.
Do you like the John Wick movies?
Heck yeah, I like John. Are you
Yes.
kidding me? I'm really looking
Yes.
forward to JW Part 4, which, by the way, I wish they would have stopped at 3 because trilogies, great things with John Wick come in 3s, but they're going to make a 4th one because the 3rd one leaves it open for a big cliffhanger. That is very true. So am I going to be there opening weekend, whatever, for John Wick 4? You bet your bottom dollar because it's John Wick. It's John Wick. He killed a man with a pencil, okay?
I love that. I do that all the time. That's my favorite line. With a pencil!
Yeah, with a pencil. And did you see in the 3rd one, do you remember where he killed the guy in the library with a book?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yes, I love that one.
No one should be able to do that.
I am obsessed with this YouTube channel called CinemaSins.
Oh, yes. I'm very familiar with that. Yes.
Yes, they did a CinemaSins, Everything Wrong with John Wick Parabellum, and I loved it.
Man, I got to catch some more of those videos by these guys because my best friend keeps telling me about them. I'm thinking, I've watched one or two CinemaSins videos, but I haven't watched them since, and it's been a long time. I should probably go back and watch some of those.
I enjoy them. I can roast something I like more than something I don't like.
Yeah, maybe I should sit down and look through my collection, see if I can roast something I actually enjoy. Maybe trying to think of some ideas here for potential videos somewhere down the line. Maybe I can do one of Weekend at Bernie's 2, maybe Mortal Kombat Annihilation from 1997, because that has a 2% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, maybe one of the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, I love Resident Evil.
I like the Resident Evil movies, but people, malign them. But I get it. But hey, look, it's Mila Jovovich, and she's kicking tail and taking names. I liked all 6 of them for different reasons, I might add. But yeah, I don't know. That's just something you did. But my goodness. So I don't even remember where we were going with this. It was the question. Oh yeah. What are you most? Yeah. Okay. What are you most excited about right now? And then we went into other stuff. Okay. Wow. Okay. Good stuff. I got to be honest, man. We go from talking about Hellboys with David Harbour, and then you get Resident Evil and CinemaSins and all this other crazy stuff. Goodness gracious. Where else can we go with this journey? Oh yes, I remember now.
How much more geek culture do we got to cover? I mean, it's in the name.
It is true. It's very true. Nerd, here at Nerd Culture more specifically.
Nerd
but
culture.
yeah, it's okay. Nerd, geek, it's okay. We're all in the same universe. We're all family here. It's okay. There's no problem with that. Now here's one for you, Lacye. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your smartphone, which ones would you specifically keep?
I definitely have to keep my Instagram. I have to keep my Facebook. And then I would probably keep my solitaire game.
Solitaire.
Mm-hmm.
Solitaire.
It's one of the ways that I keep my mind from racing, because when I have all my thoughts all the time, and then, I sit down and I have to think about a game of solitaire. So it forces my brain to stop and slow down.
Oh, I understand. I understand. Solitaire is a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time. But anyhow, we're going to get to these questions in the chat because they have been coming in like crazy. So Carl Witzman chimes in. He likes to know, what conventions, if any, is Lacye going to attend this year?
The last con that I'm going to be at is going to be SEMOCon at the Black River Coliseum in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. That'll be September 25th. You can see me there. But that's going to be my last convention of the year. And then my first convention after that's going to be in January at SIU Carbondale for SalukiCon, January 15th through 16, 17. Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, that's fantastic. Can't wait to see how those shows go. Hopefully you sell a lot of books, get a lot of new fans out of the whole shindig, as it were. And Carl likes to chime in and say, I finally had to look up Ryan's saying of, hey, Carl, it's good to see you. Ha ha. So, Carl, you finally understand the reference that I've been throwing at you for the last almost 18 months. Good for you. I'm proud of you, Carl. And actually, you know what? Lacye and I are proud of you. That's what we're gonna leave you with here, Carl. Now, Carl says, what if they did a mashup of Great Expectations and A Streetcar Named Desire? Estella. So that's where he was going with that. Carl, you and your silly jokes. I don't know what's up with you, man. By the way, Terry says regarding your like or dislike of horror films here, Lacye, he says, yes, I still don't like dolls. Thank you very much, Chucky. There you go, Terry MacGyver. There you go. Chris White chimes in. He says, I saw the movie known as Poltergeist Part 2 in the theater when I was just at the tender age of 12. 12.
Man. I'd wait till you're about 14 for that one.
Poltergeist 2 or just Poltergeist in general?
And Poltergeist and Poltergeist 2. That one's got a little bit more of the, I guess, gory stuff.
Oh,
where Poltergeist 1 has just more of the, scary. Are they going to come out? Are they going to find, are they going to find her type scary?
Mm-hmm. Right. You built it on top of the burial grounds. Why?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one, just so everyone gets the reference. I haven't seen anything that came after Poltergeist or anything that came after what other franchise am I thinking of right now? I've seen the reboot Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis returning, and I saw the original Halloween from the 1970s from John Carpenter. But anything after that, no, that's not true. That's not, why am I saw Halloween H2O. Okay, you got me. I saw Halloween H2O. It's fine. It's not great, but
it was an okay movie.
Yeah, it's just when you milk the cash cow after the first one, it gets worse. Sequels don't always work out; they really don't. We're looking at you, certain franchises that shall not be named. Terry MacGyver chimes in. He says, Amityville Horror was one of those movies that made everyone I know jump out of their own skin when they saw it. Wow. I actually,
funny story, I got in a lot of trouble at school for reading those books. Because yes, I went to a very, very small, very Christianly conservative school, not like a religious school, but just a very religious conservative community, small town. And so if you don't know how the books look, the number is 666 Ocean View Drive, or Ocean View at whatever the address of the house is.
Right. Yes.
And underneath it said the Amityville Horror. It's like a trilogy book set, I think. And one of the girls, she was an exceptionally religious girl, got very upset. And she goes, I don't understand why you're reading those books. And I'm like, look, it's literature. It's not satanic. Look, it's just a book. Now, it's based on the Ronnie DeFeo murders, where he claimed that he was hearing demonic voices telling him to kill his family. But now we know now that he was schizophrenic.
Oh, so that's what happened. Okay.
Yeah, he was schizophrenic, and he murdered his family, and that's what the Amityville Horror is based on.
Wow. Okay. Fun facts. I was not aware of this because I remember watching. I didn't see any of the original versions of Amityville Horror. I grew up watching the reboot or / remake with Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool. Your name isn't Ryan Reynolds. Your name is Deadpool. Okay, because you're always going to be known as Deadpool. That's just my 2 cents on the matter, Lacye. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but Deadpool was in it. And I believe his wife was played by, I want to say it was Melissa George played his wife. If anyone remembers this is from 2005. This movie's 15 plus years old now. Can you believe that? Goodness gracious. Where has the time gone with some of these movies? I don't know what's going on. I feel like time is going by faster and faster each year. Does anyone else do you feel like this in the comments? Let us know. I'm very curious to hear your 2 cents on that. But anywho, I will say this. We want to take this opportunity to thank Lacye Lembcke for being our guest on the summer finale of And I Quote. Now, this is going to be the last episode of And I Quote for the summer, but fear not. Fear not. It's going to be okay. Because there are going to be new episodes coming your way this fall of And I Quote. We got a ton of special guests lined up, just like Lacye, who are going to electrify the audience. And hopefully you will enjoy it as we go on this incredible journey of meeting people from other walks of life, other people from any and all corners of the nerd universe, and we're going to enjoy it together. That's the best way I can put it to you. So stay tuned. More details for that will be all across all forms of our social media, which I'll get to in here in just a moment. But Lacye, we want to take this opportunity to thank you for being our guest here on this week's episode of And I Quote. Any upcoming projects you can tell us about, and where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, type in Lacye Lembcke Writer, or if you want to follow my model page, you type in Raven Nightmare 1. If you want to follow the adventures of Dope Bunny and Clive, you can find us on YouTube. It is a free YouTube show. Enjoy. If you want the DVD, it has special bonus features and content and stuff like that. You can find Zen of the Misty Veils on Amazon, along with Nightmare Oasis 1 and 2. Upside Down Sky comes out this fall, so be on the lookout for that. And hopefully we start recording on Dope Bunny and Clive episode 3 very shortly, hopefully by the fall as well, fingers crossed. And I've enjoyed being a guest on the show. I've enjoyed talking about all of my projects and everything that I got coming up.
All right. Well, we thank you very much for being with us. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. You can follow us on all forms of social media, simply at It's Nerd Culture. Check out our YouTube channel. New videos being posted each and every week, and you can catch previous episodes of And I Quote on our YouTube channel, as well as the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. We want to thank our friends for being great supporters of us over there, as well as everyone who has chimed in on this show and our past shows. Thank you so much for all your support. We cannot do this without you. By the way, if you're wondering where some of those questions came from, what 3 apps would you keep on your smartphone? What would you describe as your best day ever? This episode of And I Quote is sponsored by, or every episode of And I Quote is powered by Pod Decks. Pod Decks are the latest thing in podcasting. Simply shuffle them up and let you ask a question, let the content roll. Make sure to go to poddex.com. Make sure to use promo code NerdCulture to get 10% off your order. You're not going to want to miss it. Also, check out my podcast. It's called The Nerdcast. It's an audio-only podcast where I review some of the latest movies I've had a chance to see. So you can check that out on Anchor, Google, Spotify, wherever you download your podcasts, you can find it there. In the meantime, to all of you out there, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your summer, and read books. Take care, everyone.
Welcome, Glasscock Park, to this glorious day.
Today is your lucky day. We got some great stuff. This is Glasscock Park.
Marvelous.
Thank you.
Come on, let's go. I don't have all day, people.
Now, it's time.
Tell your friends, huh?
I'm GW Pomacher.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
It's Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
I'm Alva.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys,
please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please
subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe to HWWS
Web TV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
and videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon.
so we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers.
To 1 million, and 10 million, and 100 million.
On HWWS.
Web TV. You'll really like it. I guarantee it.
Thank you.